Hi Neil, it's great to be out today. Would you like to introduce yourself and describe your farm system?
Yeah, so I'm Niall Jeffrey from Bielgrange farm in East Lothian. Bielgrange is an arable farm. That's about 350 hectares in an arable rotation. And we also have a hill farm in the Lammermuir, which is about 240 hectares of grazing. And we contract farm a bit of arable and a bit of beef as well. So we have about 400 Aberdeen Angus sucklers and all the followers that follow on from that system, integrated between the hill farm and the arable farm.
And you were one of the hosts for the Soil Nutrient Network series. What made you go in for it and be a leader in this area?
So I think I've been kind of working quite hard on our beef system for the last 10 years, and I felt that the arable side of the business, I was kind of losing track a little bit. There's a lot of development in terms of soil, and everyone's studying soil in the last few years. It's become quite a hot topic. And I felt like I needed to get back in touch and, relearn a few things. So the opportunity for the network farm was ideal for me.
So you hosted 3 meetings and you had various tests and speakers. Just to summarise, what were the main benefits from doing these things? And were you doing them before, and what changed with the Soil Nutrient Network?
As I say, it came along at a kind of ideal time that I started looking at doing things a bit differently, really in terms of crop nutrition and grass kind of grazing nutrition as well. And the main things that we've done since is we've swapped from using inorganic P&K fertilizer to all organic based using composts. We've started using our farmyard manure much more efficiently and spreading it over more ground more frequently through the rotation, rather than saving up for kind of once in 6, once in 7 years big applications. And in the grazing, we've stopped using quite as much nitrogen fertilizer, and we've started putting a bit more of phosphate and started using DAP and things like that on the grass instead of just going every year with ammonium nitrate.
There was obviously some suggestions made in terms of compaction, and you mentioned there the kind of inorganic manures. Have you started addressing these things? Have you made the changes since the meeting, or what have you?
Yes, yeah. The person that supplies the organic compost actually was at these meetings and contributing, and we kind of worked up a relationship there, which was really useful. So I've started getting mushroom compost supplied to the farm. Also, the contractor that spreads it for me happened to be at the meetings too. So that was a kind of ideal network of people that you kind of discuss things through. And so since have had both the supply of the compost and the spreading of the compost done as a result of those meetings. In terms of the compaction, yes, one of the speakers was very much focused on that sort of side of the soil. And we were doing things anyway, and it kind of reassured us that we were doing the right things in that sort of sense of treating the soil.
Mm-hmm. So you were already quite forward thinking before starting as the host farm. So would you say that the series kind of helped, as it were, kind of make sure that you were, as you said, you were doing the right thing, but also looking to the future and being more sustainable, more regenerative, you could call it, farming practices? Did that kind of get you make that journey happen faster, or what were your thoughts on?
Yes, almost certainly. We went to where I thought we would go. We went in the kind of road that we are on now, but much quicker through the project. Just some of the contributors, some of the speakers coming along, kind of accelerated my thinking on the use of inorganic fertilizer. Some of the other farmers there sharing their experiences definitely kind of accelerated what I was going to do anyway. So yeah, overall, we're only kind of a year or two into this journey, but already it's quick. I'm where I am quicker, having done the project.
Mm-hmm. And often in figures that are quoted, we mentioned the analyses of different organic manures and how much NPK are in them. In reality, though, have you seen a cost saving from changing from conventional fert to using more FYM, or what are the other benefits of using organic stuff over bought-in fertilizer, in your opinion?
I think long term, just looking at the cost of phosphate in particular, and it being a limited resource eventually in the world, I think using a kind of locally produced source of phosphate is definitely better. In terms of cost, you're a little bit more in control of the cost because it doesn't vary quite as much as the worldwide market of P&K, especially current prices, the current lift in the last 6 months. So that's almost certainly a benefit. But I think, as you say, it's the other things that you get with the use of compost and the better use of farm manure is it's the other extras, sulfur and lots of potassium, phosphate, and the other kind of elements that you get with that you don't quite get the same out of a bag of fertilizer.
Mm-hmm. So with potential policy changes with regards to soil organic matter, what are you doing just now to kind of help sustain or improve your current organic matters at Bielgrange?
Yeah, so obviously applying organic matter, mm-hmm. We do quite a bit of reduced tillage. We still use a plough in certain situations. Currently I'm about half and half. Probably about half my crops are established in a plough in a conventional system, and the half are reduced tillage. And I will probably swing that slightly to 2/5 ploughing and 3/5 conventional non-inversion tillage going forward, and use of kind of other crops in the rotation to keep building organic matter in the soil.
Mm-hmm. The cover crops, I think it was touched on briefly, and it's obviously an area you're looking and others are looking to kind of establish. Do you think more work needs to be done with these kind of crops in Scotland? And would that be something with nutrient network farms going forward that you think would be a good idea to be doing trial work on?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think there is trial work going on, but certainly it's an area that we will be looking, I think all over Scotland in the next 5 to 10 years, that we'll be kind of looking at using cover crops. And the more information you have as a farmer, the better, to make decisions about what you're going to sow, when you're going to sow it, and the benefit that it's going to deliver to your soil.
Mm-hmm. And whilst also being a crop that's not going to take away, be financially, suitable and sustainable as well. So kind of look into the future. If you were to host another series on here at Bielgrange, and you were to have unlimited source of money, as it were, what would you like to? Would there be anything particular you would be focusing on if you were given that opportunity?
I think almost certainly we touched on it, the use of cover crops and things like that to try and improve soil health and help with crop nutrition. I would like to do more or learn more myself about the compaction that we perhaps create in the soil with use of equipment and things like that, and what we can do to reduce that. I think that's the kind of 2 areas I would probably go into. I'm quite happy with nutrition and use of organic manures. So that would be the next sort of steps we would go to, I think.
Mm-hmm. So thanks, Neil, for doing this today and for being the host of the Soil Nutrient Network series. Do you have any final words before we?
Yeah, I mean, it's been great to be involved in, and I've seen a real benefit to my business. So yeah, it's been good.
Thanks very much.